This is Gun Cranks.
Well, here we are again. Class is in session. We are the Gun Cranks. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, along with Tom McHale, the editor of American Handgunner Magazine, and our retired and affable boss, Roy Huntington. Hey guys, it's great to get back together again.
Good to be back.
Well, we've got a great show planned. We're going to talk about some shooting tips. We're going to look at some products. We haven't done that in a while. And then we're going to argue about should you use an AR when you're hunting doves. So all that and much, much more in this episode of The Gun Cranks. Hey guys, we haven't talked about products in a while, and my prize closet is overflowing, so let's talk about some fun gun stuff, or just some cool, useful gun stuff. And my first one that I'm going to bring up is one of those things people go, oh ho hum. It's the Bormax Speed Clean system from Real Avid. And you guys know I love Real Avid products. They make really great tools, and now they've tackled cleaning. And the big thing, it's a multi-part system. First of all, they make the best cleaning rod in the world. Check this out. It's got a gun handle. you can put some serious oomph behind this, and even better is when you get it stuck in the bore, now you can pull it out. So that's kind of cool. No more rods that have to get thrown out because they've got plier marks in the end.
That's right.
So, but the other cool part of it, and along the way, they even include a cool little hanger. I had to take this down out of my closet. But it's obviously it's a one-piece rod, so it's kind of hard to store. So this goes in the back of my shooting closet, and I can quick draw my cleaning rod anytime I need it. The other part of the system is the patches and jags, and the patches are long, skinny things because these jags are machined and they fit really, really tight in the bore. So if you try to use somebody else's patch with it, it ain't going to work. But they claim that they clean 4 times better. I don't know how you scientifically judge that without microscopes and junk like that, but I will tell you it gets stuff clean and you use less patches. So big fan.
I'm betting they have microscopes and
I bet they do.
and stuff.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
But as a writer, it's hard for me to say that it's scientifically better, but I'm using my Mark I eyeball measuring instrument, and it does get the bore really clean, and you can put some serious oomph on the cleaning rod. So Bormax from Real Avid, and all this stuff we're talking about, we will have links down in the show notes. So, Roy, what you got?
Oh, me. It's not a gun thing, but there's a lot of people.
This is the Gun Crank show.
This is the Gun Crank show, and other stuff as accordingly needed to be introduced.
Okay.
There seems to be a group of people out there who are interested in defending their family and themselves, but they're mortified to think about owning a gun or a sharp knife or a stick or something like that. So Pepperball, you might be familiar with. They make all kinds of different pepper launchers, some pretty sophisticated ones, multiple shot ones, magazine loaded rounds and stuff like that. But I thought this was actually really clever because it's called the Compact because it is compact. It's like a biggish pen or a pocket flashlight. And it's interesting in that it's only $25. And it's got a nitrogen cylinder and a single pepper ball. And that's a part of a reloading kit that you can buy for them. You can buy a 2-shot reloading kit if you want to, but it comes fully loaded, ready to go. And so basically it's a 1-shot pepper ball gun. And what I really liked about it was the fact that we all have seen the little purse-size OC sprayers, and you've probably had experience with them, and they don't last very long, just a couple seconds, and the stream isn't very forceful, so if there's a bit of a wind and it just blows all over the place, and I just have never found them to be really effective. And most people won't carry a bigger one, like a bear spray one. Well, this one will go about 3 times as far as a standard pepper spray does. And so I like that because it keeps the bad guy farther away from you, which, distance gives you time, which means then that's time for you to run away. And anyway, for $25, I think it's well worth it, and it's safe. And it's a pepper ball, so that means that if you strike somebody in the chest area or something like that, it's that big cloud of real fine talcum-like pepper spray gets all over everything. And it's pretty darn effective. They used it on the police department about the time I was retiring. And I remember, we had guys with those guns, and they would get into a little riot situation. You just go around, pop, 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 shoot these people in the chest with the pepper ball, and they would lose all interest in doing what they were doing. So pepper ball compact.
I'm a huge fan of OC. I've used it on the street many, many times. I've been sprayed with it. I've had pepper balls shot at me. They're really unpleasant. So I wasn't sure about this until Roy, you just wrote this up for me for an upcoming issue of Guns Magazine. And the point that you're right, those little bitty sprays, of which I've given to my mom, my wife, my daughter as an adjunct to carry, they don't go very far, but man, a pepper ball launcher, across a room, down a parking garage, a little ways, I think it'd get their attention. So I'm really sold on it now.
Well, and I like the fact is that they don't know it's a one shooter, and it makes a pretty good noise.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think to somebody you have this in your hand, and it's like, bang, you deploy it, and they go, holy, they're shooting at me. I don't know what's going on. And my eyes water, and I can't breathe, and I can't see. So anyway, for $25, it just seems like, why not? It's a lot of protection for not very much money. So pepper ball compact.
Cool stuff.
Actually, all seriousness aside, it's pretty cool. I fired one, and it's like, crap, that did pretty good. Yeah. Get one, Sherry.
Nice.
What you got, Tom?
Nice. Okay, so I kind of took the approach of what do I use all the time.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh.
This is a shooting rest. This is a Ransom multi-caliber rest. Okay. Looks bad. It's hard to tell on TV here, but this thing weighs a lot. I don't know, 5-10 pounds, somewhere in there. Fits in an ammo can, so it's easy to tote around. This whole part moves up and down and locks. But the beauty of this thing is I do a lot of accuracy testing for handgunner articles and such, and just because I reload. And I've always carried just some kind of generic rest, a plastic one or the front half of a 2-piece rifle system. But I always have to bring a bag of lead shot, with me to weigh it down. Just so nothing moves, right? So this one, I don't need to do that anymore. It's got weight, it's got huge rubber feet on the bottom. It sits there and it does not move. Got a nice little leather cap up here so you don't ding up your guns. This is, bar none, the most effective general purpose pistol rest I have ever used. So,
wow.
Absolutely love this.
Strong recommendation.
Strong recommendation.
So you can look like you're shooting.
It even makes me shoot better.
You beat me to it, Tom.
I was proactive before you guys gave me grief and cracked bad jokes. I just take it, throw myself on the grenade and be done.
Very
with
cool.
It. So.
Well, I've got a thing that it seems kind of generic, but I'm actually using quite a few of them. No, I made my camera go crazy. This is a 50 caliber ammo can liner from Arms Preservation Incorporated. It's that miracle plastic that your guns get shipped in that stops corrosion. This is designed to go down in your ammo can, and they make them for 30 caliber too. And it's got a heavy duty seal up here. So what's cool about this is, I'm sure you guys are like me, I've got ammo cans all over the place. Some's got ammo in it, but a lot of them have all kinds of stuff. You put one of these bad boys down in your ammo can, and it stops corrosion and all that other nasty stuff, tarnish and all that kind of stuff. It puts out some kind of miracle fume or magic rays. I don't know how it works, but it really works. And I don't shoot a lot of steel case, but I guarantee you if you stockpile steel case, you need these bags. So I believe it's API bags. I can't read that. I don't have my glasses on, but we'll have the down here in the show notes. But Anyway, I like this, and if it's raining, it does make a nice hat.
Let's be done with this segment now.
I thought we were doing two of
Second.
I guess we're done then. Okay, well, there you go.
Okay, so can we agree that do what I say, not what I do is a valid thing?
True.
So, because what I'm going to say is how to shoot better, okay? I'll give you guys a second to figure out that joke.
Wondered where
okay?
you were going with
I
that
get
one.
it.
But
Yeah.
please go ahead. Yes.
No, but you know what I wanted to talk about today? I want to talk about shooting tips. And I'm putting you all on the spot because I each want you to bring a shooting tip. You know,
Okay.
it could be rifle or handgun. Roy, it could be revolvers or flintlocks too. So, you know, that's fine.
We're full of love today, aren't we?
Shots fired! But I thought it'd be cool to share shooting tips because, you know, you got to pass this stuff around. Nothing's new, nothing's unique. You know, somebody taught us all stuff like this, so let's share it. Brent, go.
Oh, okay. Well, mine is really one of those things that, like you said, everybody knows you should do it, but they don't necessarily. But now it's become critically important, and that is dry fire. Now that there's limited ammo and what's available is, oh my gosh, expensive in a lot of cases, people are wondering, you know, how do I go out and shoot? Well, you can either go ammo scavenging and make sure you bring your checkbook, or you can dry fire. And it's one of those things we're all taught. We're all, you know, we know it's a great training tool, and we don't do it. So if you do nothing today, make sure you do a little dry practice. And safety is really critical. You know, there's a whole bunch of things you need to take into consideration. I'm not going to cover those. Just make sure you're really safe and you're pointing in a safe direction, even if you have an oops. But safety aside, it's a great way. And we weren't talking about product today, but this little dealie you can see on here is from Mantis, and it interfaces with your phone, and basically while you're dry firing, it tells you about your trigger press, how the gun was moving, and all that. And they're not that expensive. They're around $100. I can't recommend them highly. I can't recommend them more highly because they really do give you good feedback. But even if you don't have one of those, just some good old American dry practice will absolutely make you a better shooter. And it's interesting when you talk to some of the top competitors in the world, they still dry practice too. So if they do it, you know, an average earth human like me probably ought to be doing it too.
I always like to say the best way to improve your shooting is by not shooting.
Okay.
And I mean that
Yeah.
seriously, supporting what you just said.
Yep.
So you'll be amazed at how much better you shoot after you not shoot at home for a while.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to keep.
Okay, Tom.
Oh, I was going to say I'm going to keep calling Brent Earth Human after his.
Yeah. Hey, dude, you know, like
Earth
I'm just like a
human.
normal
Earth
Earth
human,
human, you know, just living on the planet and whatever. I worked a lot of Grateful Dead shows back in the day.
I can tell.
I was there for the Great Riot in Indianapolis. That was special. But anyway, who's got the next tip?
Tom.
I got one. Okay, so this one is almost every newer shooter I see does this, and they do this because it is perfectly natural and instinctive and intuitive, and to use the C word, common sense. But it's wrong. And what I'm talking about is timing the shot, right? You're lining up on the bullseye, you're getting all ready to go, you know, your gun's moving around a little bit because we're human and stuff moves around a little bit, and then right at the precise instant when it's perfect, you bang, you know, try and pull the trigger right then, right? Terrible idea. Because what happens when you dip Brent? Earth human?
Yes.
Earth human?
Yes.
Hello? What happens when you go, yeah!
Well, the shot
when you're shooting
the
a
shot
handgun.
ain't going to be there. It's probably going to go low, but it could go any place. But it'll go any place except where you're intending it for it to go.
Roy, we need to give him a
Earth
gold star
human.
today. I mean,
Yeah.
Earth
I
human
feel like I'm in
nailed
an
that.
episode of Star Trek. You know? Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I was going to say though, Tom, you've instructed me something. So my Danny Glover That's not the way to do it.
Yeah, you can move your head all around. That's fine. It looks cool.
That's like me trying to find my red dot,
makes
but
for-
moving along.
Makes for good highlight clips.
Or
for
you're
the
trying to
upcoming
find
movie.
your
No, but serious-
bifocals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but seriously, stop doing that. And you know what? Forget the movement of the gun and just focus on a smooth trigger pull. And you know what? Counterintuitively, you're going to shoot more accurately. And as you shoot more, the amount of wobble that's going on there with your gun moving around is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And as long as you're pulling the trigger within that little wobble, you're going to be in this circle. So stop timing your shot, human.
And you know what Tom said about the trigger press, though, that is really the number one thing. If you don't do anything else, learn how to press the trigger. Well, I have a couple things that I've kind of learned since moving here where I shoot off my back porch. Is that I've seen this through my life, is that people tend to use the same target way too long during a shooting day. They'll put a target up at the indoor range. You've seen them, the guy next to you, and then they'll shoot 150 rounds at a silhouette target. Well, all you're doing is making expensive brass nowadays, and because you're not learning anything. Once you get 15 or 20 shots on the target, you have no idea where the next hits are going. They're somewhere in that cluster. You have no idea, and so change your targets frequently. I mean, literally 10 or 15 rounds, 20 rounds at the most, and it's time to put up a new target, boys and girls. And that's why you need to go buy those 200 packs of 8 or 10 inch white paper plates that you see at the big box store, because they don't cost hardly anything, and then you just staple them up. You don't even have to put a little black spot in the middle. You'll naturally zero the center of the target. They make great targets. You could see what you're doing. And after every shot, you should stop and think, what did I just do? Was I looking at the sights? How did I pull the trigger that time? Why is my shot in the bottom right-hand corner? What did I do wrong? And so that's really smart. The other thing that I've done here is that it's rare that a day goes by that I don't go out on my back patio and shoot a magazine out of an auto, or shoot a couple shots from a rifle, or shoot a cylinder full from a revolver. And it's usually very slow and it's methodical, and I'm always thinking about the trigger press when I do it. And I don't just shoot randomly at rocks. I put up a target and I shoot at the target. And I do that just about every day. Now, granted, I'm lucky because I can do that, but I have to tell you, the cumulative effect has made me a much better shooter, and it also has helped me with gun manipulation skills. And so things that should be automatic become automatic because you do them a lot. Kind of goes with dry firing, but if you can do it for real, that's really important. So.
Yeah. I've got a bonus tip that kind of goes with that. I was just sitting here thinking about it. Shoot at 100 yards, because I know you do that a lot from your back porch.
Yeah.
But if you tell a lot of folks, I shoot at silhouettes at 100 yards. They're like, really? Are you vectoring in fire? Calling in the fire mission. Once you start training at 100 yards, suddenly 25 or 15 yards is a piece of cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At 100 yards, you've got to do everything exactly right. Great sight alignment, great trigger pull, a great follow through, and believe it or not, you'll hit it. And I talk to guys that even shoot out to 200 and 300, and they don't hit every single time. I mean, it's a long shot, but you hit enough that it's not just a random event, and you learn real quick that I've got to do it right the same way, methodically, every time. So put that target out at 100 and see what you can do with it. And I'm telling you, when you move it in, it's like, well, this is a piece of cake.
I call it the ankle weight syndrome. It's like, you remember when you were in school and you wear ankle weights, right, as you're running around doing your, and then you take the ankle weights off, and it's like, oh, I can run faster and jump higher, And so you're exactly right. You shoot 100 yards, and now suddenly 25 yards, you go, well, this is easy. Yeah, this is nothing. So that's a really good tip.
That's a good tip, Earth Human. And you know what, though? Seriously, it's also fun. It really is fun to plink at something 100 yards away, because when you hit it, you feel like you accomplished something. So, all right, guys, you all get gold stars today. There's some excellent tips. I mean, the timing the shot, I think, was probably the best tip, but the other ones were really good too. So I just want you to know that. So So thanks.
Don't invite him anymore.
No kidding.
You let me do the close. I'm just saying.
Can we cut all this out?
It was your
Just
fault.
start over.
Bye. I was reading The Shooting Wire today, and there's a company in our industry who are offering what they call a modern sporting shotgun. So which is a take on the modern sporting rifle, which is an AR platform, right? Now that's not original because there's other people that make AR-based or AR-looking shotguns. I tested one the other day, as a matter of fact, and they seem to work great. You know, they're mechanically sound, they perform what they're doing. But to me, it's always seemed to be more of a defensive kind of a gun, but this company is making them for hunting. And that's just specifically how they advertised it. And I looked at it and I went, huh? Because to me, if I'm going hunting with a shotgun, I'm going hunting with my Fox Sterling Worth 16 gauge side by side, you know, or my modern Remington 20 gauge 1187 or something like that. And because they're light and they fit you and you can track birds easily and all that kind of stuff. But I think they were intimating that you could use this for upland game hunting. And I do it if you want to. And there's nothing wrong with it, and it's legal, and I encourage it, and all that other stuff. But I just can't imagine myself using a 9-pound, 12-gauge AR-style shotgun trying to shoot upland game. Help me, guys!
You're doing it wrong. I mean, come on. The intent of that is for a tripod mount on your Jeep.
No doubt.
Well, okay. Now,
I mean, I'm assuming.
If you're going pig hunting, if you're going pig hunting in Texas at nighttime with night vision, you know, load this thing with slugs and go to work, by golly. You know, but I don't know. Do you think you could actually use this for upland
Well, you know, that falls in the category of course you can use it, but should you? And to me, the answer is absolutely not. You know, if that's... if that's the only shotgun you got, okay, I get that. But if you choose that gun over anything else, I reserve the right to look at you like you got 3 heads. It just, you know, I do a lot of upland game hunting, and I just cannot imagine a guy mounting up. We're going after these deadly Bob White or chuckers, and I think this is really a symptom of a bigger problem that I've written about, and it cracks me up. Hunting used to be a contemplative pastime. You know, you went into the woods, you stalked your game, and you took your game, and, you know, then you lit a pipe and, you know, the sunset. And now I think because new hunters tend to skew younger, and they tend to be maybe more military age, and they've got a military background. Those are the greatest percentages of folks that are the new hunters in the group. And if you look at bow hunting, waterfowl hunting, and apparently now upland game hunting, it's turned into this, you know, the ducks are coming to kill you and your entire family, therefore you have to get down and get with it. You know, and it is.
So it's a mission.
Absolutely.
It's a mission.
And bow hunting is the same thing. Again, I'm a bow hunter, but to look at the industry, you would think that you're on a special forces sniper mission as opposed to sitting in a tree shooting a herbivore that's walking by you. And it just I don't get it, and I'm afraid it's taking hunting in a different direction that I don't know it's a good direction. And I know that's the old guy, crotchety old fart, yada yada yada. I got a safe 5 feet from this camera that is full of every kind of, you know, tactical looking gun because that's my job, but you're not going to see me take any of them out in the field. So that's what I think.
I think you guys are missing the point.
Yes.
I think
Educate us, Tom.
Well, here's the thing. And I'm going to preface this by saying I appreciate a fine shotgun like the next guy. We got a few around here that are just gorgeous works of art, and love to shoot them in situations like this. But the thing you're not taking into consideration is the AR platform has adjustable stock. So when you got your plate carrier on, for the upland hunt, you can shorten the stock a little bit and square up to the target better. Because the problem is those classics, they have solid wood stocks. And I mean, what are you going to cut off the end of it, to fit your plate carrier? Duh.
So you could set your offset up on your AR,
seriously,
folding
I'm a little
AR.
ashamed at this segment because you didn't think through the topic before.
I guess if you had a flat top, though, you could have a laser and a red dot.
Right. Now, I have not yet seen a red dot mount on an LC Smith. I rest my case.
Don't even say that. Don't even say that because somebody will think to do it now.
It's not an LC Smith, but I've got a couple of doubles and certainly got plenty of sights. So I'm thinking, you put a pick rail on the top and you get a red dot. And of course, you need backup iron sights and then a laser light combination. And when those ducks come in, it's kill or be killed.
Do you put the bayonet on the side or the front in that, or the bottom in that configuration?
I haven't worked that out yet.
God, you need one on the back too.
In all seriousness, again, I just think it's a symptom of a bigger problem that I don't like the way the hunting world is going, and this just makes it go that much further. And another thing is the long distance shooting. I was watching some video the other day. They were sniping bears at 1,000. I get it is. I get the idea of shooting at 1,000. I do a lot of it. I love that kind of shooting. But and the other interesting thing was I noticed there was a lot of one-shot kills and there was a lot of bears running off. So maybe it's a greater challenge for you to get up close and personal. And in the case of brown bears, you're putting your own fuzzy pink butt on the line rather than laying on a hilltop, shooting to another hilltop and hopefully shooting the bear. So I just, and that all came from this fascination with sniping, in the sandbox, which again, cool. I love that. We got great gear now, but I don't think that's necessarily the direction we want hunting to go. So I'm going to get some hate mail down in the comments and I'm good with it. I don't care because I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, we always say, and I agree with this, some shooting is better than no shooting. And so if we have a 24-year-old who got out of the military and their only exposure to long guns are AR-style rifles, and he or she sees this AR-style shotgun, they're familiar with the platform, they know how it works, they understand what they're doing. And there isn't anything wrong with them buying that gun and taking it upland game hunting, I guess. But my point is, it's like, this is a really new thing, and I'm really having a little trouble accepting it. And I think we just have to accept it.
Can I make a serious point? No, shock.
Yeah.
No,
why start now?
Here's a serious point. I'm all for AR shotguns. Great, knock yourself out. Do whatever you want with them, But one thing to consider for like an upland application, you're shooting moving targets, right? An elegant shotgun is designed to be a part of your, as you guys, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, to be a part of your body. So it shoots where you look, right? An AR is a sighting system. You look through some form of iron sights, red dot scope, or whatever. Those are two very different things. I mean, for a moving target scenario, there's just nothing more natural than a proper shotgun, so that, I think it's something to consider if you're going to be upland hunting and shooting targets, use the right tool for the job. So,
and I'm willing to say that there are people who could take one of those shotguns, probably just with a front sight on it, or maybe no sight, and shoot rings around us on a skeet range.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no doubt in my mind. As a matter of fact, that's a really interesting idea, and I'm going to have to get one and,
that would be
and
fun.
do exactly that.
I would love to shoot around a skeet with something like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's put our money where our mouth is on this one, and that I'll order one up. You guys see, find somebody who's doing it, and I think a front sight would be good, but I don't know, flat top front sight. Of course, you have to restrict it to 3 rounds if you're hunting. So I guess you just have a 2-round magazine.
Not all hunting, but
right? And
for waterfowl, you got to have
upland,
3 shots.
That kind of stuff. Past waterfowl, yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting thing. I saw that. My gut reaction was to flee in terror. But I think we're doing what the gun cranks do, which is let's just talk about it and be truthful and talk about both sides. So I appreciate you guys
Having
engaging.
said that, though,
Earth
if you
human.
want to use that AR shotgun and you've got a really, really good pheasant field, I'll be happy to come along and bite my tongue just to see how it works, as long as I get to hunt. So that offer's out there.
That's right.
There you go.
Well, guys, that was another great episode of the Gun Cranks. Had fun talking about stuff and arguing. And make sure, if you like the Gun Cranks and you like to listen to us argue, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. That's really important. And Tom, we've got a new special product out. Why don't you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we do quarterly special edition magazines, and what is just hitting the magazine racks right now is our Old West special. And this one's cool. It sounds a little scary, but it goes from everything from cannibalism to, here's one, 1911s in the Old West. Bet you didn't know that was a thing. Yep, it sure is. Actually, I'm going to tell you all about it, so check it out.
And how do they check it out, Tom?
Newsstands pretty much everywhere. Check that. Or you can just go to any of our websites, AmericanHandgunner.com, GunsMagazine.com, and you'll be able to navigate your way to our online store.
Excellent. So make sure you do that, and please subscribe to American Handgunner and Guns Magazine. And while you're there, don't forget to check out AmericanCop.com. So, on behalf of Tom McHale and Roy Huntington, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat. We've had fun. Hope you did too. We'll see you next episode.